Next statement is by the Honorable Hon Okoffo Darte, Honorable Member for Jaman South. It is on state of deplorable roads in Jaman South.
Okay. Mr. Speaker, my name is Hon Okoffo Darte, MP Jaman South.
Honorable Member, thank you for correcting me, but this is your statement, is that right? What you gave to Mr. Speaker, which just forwarded to me, is Okoto. So please make sure the next time you spell your name correctly, so I don't pronounce it wrongly.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity to make my maiden statement in the House. Mr. Speaker, I wish to highlight the deplorable state of road network in my constituency, Jaman South. I am very sure you all appreciate the need for good roads in the country, and its importance cannot be underestimated. The poor road network in the country is not a secret, and the havoc it has caused the nation is immense and immeasurable. Over the years, our attempt to tackle the problem bedeviling the road network has been fraught with challenges. Mr. Speaker, Jaman South is a municipality, and in my estimation, has some of the worst roads in the country. The only sign of a bitumen road in the constituency is the one stretching through the principal street of the municipal capital, that's Drobo, through to Sampa. That road is over 20 years old and riddled with potholes that can cause accidents for motorists and commuters on a daily basis. Mr. Speaker, the potholes on that stretch of road are deep enough to change your radio station. Mr. Speaker, every other road in the constituency is in a terrible shape and making one of the most beautiful constituencies in the country an eyesore. Mr. Speaker, there are over 50 towns and villages connected just by 4 major roads in the municipal capital have not seen a tarred surface in their lifetime, even though all of such roads are over 100 years old. Mr. Speaker, the problem of road network is impeding the development of the people and the communities. The terrible nature of the roads has adversely affected investment in the constituency. Existing businesses are dying and new ones are hardly coming up due to the dust that engulfs the whole community during the dry season or Harmattan season. The rainy season comes with its own challenges. The potholes get filled, driving and walking even becomes difficult. Mr. Speaker, sometimes it is difficult to live in the constituency, especially when all other 4 municipal assemblies in the Bono region have asphaltic surfaces except Jaman South municipality. Mr. Speaker, Jaman South contributes its fair share to the development of the nation. In fact, we are a major farming community dealing mainly in the cultivation of cocoa and cashew on a large scale. Foodstuff production is abundant. The problem is that the trucks carrying these goods many times get stuck and sometimes topple over and block the narrow roads. Mr. Speaker, on 3 of the 4 major roads in the municipality, Ghana shares a border with Ivory Coast, making the constituency an entry point to foreigners. Mr. Speaker, foreigners' first impression about the country is formed mostly at the entry point. Hence, they need to carve a very good and a beautiful impression for the municipality and the country. Mr. Speaker, one beautiful thing about the municipality is that most of the towns are so close by, and in most cases, less than a kilometer between them. An example is from Drobo, the municipal capital, to Kwamse Krom, where you have Jape Krom, Katachie Krom, Gunasia, Kromunum, Sebreni. Dodosio, Bano number 1, Bano number 2, Bano number 3, and Kwamse Krom, the border town, all on the 12-kilometer road. Mr. Speaker, again, from Drabu to Mrema, you have Nyamifie, Asuoja, Jejemreja, Abuo Krom, and Mremano on a 9-kilometer road. On the road to Atuna Batian, you have Jape Krom, Babianiha, Komfo Krom, Bobuno, Konsia, Ebrikasu, Atuna, Pampra Krom, and Batian. The point being made here is that any attempt to get any of this stretch of road constructed is going to bring a big relief to thousands of people, because none of these aforementioned towns has a population of less than 1,000. Mr. Speaker, I am happy to know that the President, in his inaugural address to the nation, spoke of this year as the Year of Rose. It is my hope and prayer that this year's Year of Rose, promise be different from what the President proclaimed last year, 2020. I urge the state to consider us favorably in this year's budget.
Hold on. Yes, member for Gagwe Central.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I believe the honourable member is reading a statement, and the rules of the House does not require a statement to provoke any debate. You are saying that it's your prayer that this year's promise by the President that it's going to be the Year of Roads will not be the same as last year. You are provoking debate. Because if I ask you to provide me with data on road works, how can you support that? Because the year hasn't started.
Honorable, thank you. The statement has been admitted by Mr. Speaker, and it will allow him to read it, and members can comment and like. He has concluded.
Mr. Speaker, thank you for the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I want to repeat here. I'm happy to know that the President, in his inaugural address to the nation, spoke of this year as the Year of Rose. It is my hope and prayer that this year's Year of Rose promise be different from what the President promised last year, 2020. Mr. Speaker, I urge the state to consider us favorably in this year's budget, especially in the area of roads, so as to get the spirit of once vibrant communities back to life. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak the minds of my constituents in the House. Thank you very much.
Yes, honorable member for Sunyani East.
Sunyani West.
Sorry, Sunyani West.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I thank the maker of the statement. And to say that even though his statement is more or less constituency specific, having been a former regional minister of the region before, I have a fair idea as to the road conditions of his constituency and, for that matter, his municipality. The Speaker, I just want to say that yes, just like many other constituencies and municipalities, road continues to be a major challenge to many of our communities. But that notwithstanding, it is also a fact that some attempts have been made in his constituency to address the issue of roads. And I do know for a fact that if you go to Drobo, which is the Jaman South district capital, quite a number of roads are under construction. Apart from that, there are other major roads which are also under construction and have reached a considerable level of completion. And I thought, in being fair in the statement, the maker of the statement will have acknowledged that as effort by government in addressing the road conditions in his constituency. He also made a statement that maybe apart from his constituency, there's no other constituency or municipality in the region which doesn't have an asphalting surface in the district capital. That is factually incorrect. The Speaker, my constituency, it was hyped out of Sunyani municipality, and it is the closest constituency to Sunyani, but I don't even have a single kilometer of asphalting in my district capital. So for him to have made a general statement that every constituency, every town or constituency capital in the region has an asphalting surface is factually incorrect. And I think that should be. I agree that road issues continues to be a major challenge in many parts of the country, but I must also admit that since the beginning of last year, when His Excellency the President declared the year of roads, many bold attempts have been made to address major road challenges in many of our communities. I can cite so many of them in my region and then in my constituency, and in his particular constituency that I can also speak of. Mr. Speaker, it's factually incorrect that the major road linking or which passes through the constituency from Brekum through Drobo to was constructed some 20 years ago. Mr. Speaker, between 2006 and 2009, early 2009, I was the regional minister. The road from Babianiha through Drobo to Sampa was started during my reign as a regional minister, and it could not have been over 20 years by now. So I just want to plead that whenever we are making statements which will be on record, we have to be very careful and also be factually correct. Mr. Speaker, on this note, I thank the maker of this statement.
Yes, Honorable.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity given to contribute to this statement. I would like to thank the maker of this statement. He is my neighbor. I share boundary with him. That is Jaman North. Jaman North was carved out of Jaman in 2004, the year 2004. Mr. Speaker, the situation in Jaman South is not different from the situation in Jaman North, Tyne, Banda, in respect of the deplorable nature of roads that we have in these constituencies. Mr. Speaker, when you come to these constituencies and chance to ask the constituents of their urgent needs, the chorus answer that will be given is roads. The constituents of these four constituencies I've mentioned are in dire need of roads. We are fortunate to have some members here who recently went to these constituencies to campaign. I can boldly make mention of Honorable Osla Owusu. She went to Jaman North during the campaign era to campaign for a colleague, that is Honorable Siaka Stephen, the ex-MP. She can attest to this situation. Sampa as a district capital, up till now, this district was carved from Jaman in 2004. It will sadden you, Mr. Speaker, to know that the principal streets of Sampa are still untapped. as a constituency or a district capital. Sampa, Banda, and the constituencies I have mentioned so far, and the constituencies I have mentioned so far have a lot of resources, and a lot of revenue is being taken from these areas into the national coffers. But it will sadden you to know that our roads are in a bad nature. We are praying to Mr. Speaker to speak to the necessary authorities. We are aware we have a minister of road now. He's yet to face the House for approval. And I believe when his nomination is approved and he becomes a substantive minister, he will work expeditiously for our roads to be touched so that we can also fill our part of the national cake. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.